everybody, my name is Eric Hopkins, and this is my good buddy Brendan, and this is this week's edition of Mike's Wrestling Fun Facts and Trivia here on the channel. But before we get started into that, if you're finding this for the very first time, please click that like and subscribe button, and don't forget to hit that notification bell so you get all the notifications about when we put up new content right here on this channel. So our Wrestling Fun Facts and Trivia guru Mike has sent in yet another trivia question for us to answer this week, and hopefully we'll get it right. We have no idea what subject it's from. He decided to kind of go back, pulling random trivia out of his rear end, and we're going to answer that one right here. So we're going to go into that. So check out this video real quick, and then we'll let you know what we think. So here we go.
On Thanksgiving night, November of 1983, the NWA held the very first Starrcade, one of the first big wrestling supercards ever in professional wrestling. And it saw Ric Flair defeat Harley Race inside of a steel cage to win his second NWA World Championship. A little less than a couple years later, the World Wrestling Federation would hold their own groundbreaking event, the very first WrestleMania in March of 1985. Now, only 3 men can say they competed at both the very first Starrcade and the very first WrestleMania. I'm going to give you 4 names. You tell me which of these 4 WWE Hall of Famers did not compete at the very first Starrcade and the very first WrestleMania. Your choices are Roddy Piper, Ricky Steamboat, Greg Valentine, and Paul Orndorff. Hope y'all are having a fabulous week. Can't wait to come up with some more easy softball questions for the guys. If you've not yet done it, please hit like, please hit subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you too can be informed on when new content is put up on the channel. Y'all have yourselves a great week, and I look forward to seeing you next time.
Yeah, I don't fucking know. So it's going to be a guest party.
Guest party!
Hey.
Super guest party! Anyway, sorry. But,
Okay, I'm guessing.
Yeah,
That's
so
what this is.
he doesn't actually say that the 3 out of the 4 are the 3 that competed at both Starrcade and WrestleMania, but I'm assuming that's what it is. So the one name is what we're picking here of who did not compete at Starrcade and WrestleMania. Now I've got to figure out who was at Starrcade, because I'm trying to think of these 4 names, which of them were in the NWA as well. Because obviously Rick, I mean, most people remember some of his NWA stuff. I'm trying to play it out here. I think Paul Orndorff was in NWA at one point.
Yeah.
Greg Valentine, not sure. I don't recall Roddy Piper ever being in NWA.
That was going to be my guess. Was going to be Roddy Piper.
Because Steamboat and Valentine sounds like more of an option of actually being in NWA. Now watch Roddy Piper.
You know what? No. I'm going to go with Steamboat. I'm changing my answer. I'm going to go with Ricky.
Okay. It's one of the 2 for me. I got a feeling Valentine was in NWA. Well, to be different, I'll take Roddy. How about that? And then you could take...
I'll take Ricky.
Take Ricky. I'll take Roddy. So we'll see here. I don't know, man. That's a tough one. Anytime you go before 1985, now I guess this is kind of around that time period where I kind of know about WWE or WWF, but NWA stuff I'm definitely not brushed up on as much as some people. But all right, so I'll take Roddy, you take Ricky. So let's go put up the answer here, and of course, just like last week, we're going to put the video with this in the description of the video here on our YouTube channel, so you guys can check out what we're talking about. The WWE Hall of Famer that did not compete in the first Starrcade is WrestleMania 1's main eventer Paul Orndorff. Okay. That's not at all what I thought here. I mean, maybe he was in NWA, but he didn't compete there. His only Starrcade appearance could be 1993, where he and Paul Roma, as Pretty Wonderful, defeated Too Cold Scorpio and Marcus Bagwell. Man, there's some names for you.
There's some. Yeah, I was about to say, there's a couple of names.
Yeah. Orndorff's Mania 1 partner, Roddy Piper, would face and defeat Greg Valentine in their famous dog collar match at Starrcade 83. Okay, I remember that, but I don't remember that was the event.
Is that where he got his ear cauliflowered?
Maybe so. He doesn't actually say here, but shortly after, both would leave for WWF and would actually make peace months later on Piper's Pit. Before beating the future original Doink, Matt Bourne, at WrestleMania 1, Ricky Steamboat teamed up with longtime partner Jay Youngblood at Starrcade 83 and beat Jack and Jerry Briscoe for the NWA World Tag Titles. Together, they'd win the titles 5 times, and overall, Steamboat would be an 8-time NWA WCW Tag Champion. Sadly, Youngblood in 1985 would become seriously ill and suffer multiple heart attacks and would be in a coma for 2 weeks before passing on September 2nd, 1985 at the age of 30. Boy, that's young. FYI, his illness was not drug-related. So, yeah, and he links the video here of the Piper's Pit where Greg Valentine and Roddy Piper apparently buried the hatchet. So we'll link that here in the description of this YouTube video. But, yeah, Paul Orndorff had no clue there. I could have sworn he just has this NWA look to me. I don't know what it is. Some of those old NWA videos I have seen, that some of these wrestlers have a certain look about them, and I just thought Orndorff fit that description. And Valentine, too. I just figured Piper would not have been there. But, hey.
Yeah.
The more you know. But, so yeah, I mean that's news to me. Yeah, the late great Paul Orndorff recently passed away, and of course, you know, if you've not seen Mike's thoughts on the Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff, he also did a video here on this channel discussing his life and career as well. So go check that out as well. So yeah, I mean, very interesting. Any more to add to this?
I didn't know.
You didn't know it? He said he kind of cut out a little bit there, but yeah, I mean,
no, I didn't. I like legitimately because I thought it was Ricky. I didn't know Ricky was part, let alone a multiple time and like
tag champion.
In saying that, I feel stupid because Ricky has had a very storied career. Yeah, and like I don't know why I didn't think he was part of NWA.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think either you or Mike, one of the two, has mentioned on this channel how one of you have felt that he's a very underrated WWE Hall of Famer.
Oh yeah, it was me.
Oh, was it you? Okay.
Mike probably shares the same sentiment because I think he is.
Oh, I sure.
You like honestly, he's had some of the greatest matches. Like still one of my favorite matches to watch, is the Intercontinental title match between him and Macho Man.
Yeah, WrestleMania 3. Yeah. To many, you know, that match stole the show at the event. You know.
Yeah, it was amazing to watch.
You go back and watch it now; it still holds up to me, as well as a you know, just a masterpiece of pro wrestling. Of course, it's overshadowed by Hogan and Andre, but when it comes to just matches, it was better.
Man, that match, from a technical aspect, it was fucking amazing. From an entertainment standpoint, it was fucking amazing. Yeah. They went long too. It wasn't a short match, and like they've had some pretty good matches. But that match for me, I remember watching it on the network one time, and I was just blown away, like legitimately, like, oh, this is. They put on a clinic, you know, of wrestling, and they looked so gassed by the end of that match, dude.
Well, it was the longest match on the entire card. But surprisingly, though, according to Wikipedia anyway, the Ricky Steamboat Randy Savage match was only 14 and a half minutes, which by today's standards.
Did you watch that match? It doesn't seem like that. It seemed like it took forever.
Yeah, well, I mean, and for the time, I'm sure it was long. And that's the thing. I criticize WWE, especially on their Raw brand, a lot here lately about having short matches. But you look at this WrestleMania, only 2 matches went over 10 minutes, and that was the Hogan match and this match for the Intercontinental title. Everything else was about 8 minutes or less. So, I mean, that's crazy. For WrestleMania, you would think a big extravaganza like that would have long matches, but the more things change, I guess, the more they stay the same, really, which is something that Mike's talked about, like, you know, because he wants us to review the Jerry Lawler heel turn from 1989, which we might see if we can do that this week if we can get him on Thursday, which check him out here on the channel. We may have a video coming up on the channel on Friday with him actually, you know, coming on the channel and talking about some stuff. He talked about maybe he'd go over his thoughts on the new rebrand of NXT and things like that, so keep your eye out for that. Yeah, so, I mean, if you really look at it, like, I mean, the Butch Reed versus Coco Beware match was only 3.5 minutes. I mean, that was the shortest match on the card. Well, I'm sorry, the 6-man tag was actually the shortest on the card. Hillbilly Jim, Haiti Kid, and Little Beaver, don't remember any of these names, defeated King Kong Bundy, Little Tokyo.
You just say...
Yeah, you heard me right. Little Beaver defeated King Kong Bundy, Little Tokyo, and Lord Littlebrook by disqualification. Little Tokyo. There's another name for you. But yeah, I mean, some of those undercard stuff on that pay-per-view for sure. But yeah, I mean, that's just surprising to me. It was only being 14 and a half minutes. But yeah, sorry, we're going off a little bit of a tangent there. But yes, Ricky Steamboat definitely underrated as a WWE wrestler, Hall of Famer, you name it. He definitely deserves more credit. But that match at WrestleMania 3 will at least stand the test of time. But yeah, so Paul Orndorff. The only thing, and I hate to say this, but Paul Orndorff obviously had a long career and good things like that. But the only thing I really remember him from is WrestleMania 1. Am I alone in that? Or do you kind of feel that too? Trying to see if he was listening.
No, I heard you.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I don't recall a whole lot of other big things with him.
No.
Now watch, next week's trivia is going to be about Paul Orndorff and the great things he's done in his career. I'm sure it's coming. Either that or it'll be about how longer matches at WrestleMania.
Because I guess in that aspect, I'm very ignorant on Paul Orndorff. If he's had a great career, I wouldn't know, and that's just because I just wouldn't know.
Well, and, like I said, that's the thing that most people remember him for is WrestleMania 1, tagging with Roddy against Hogan and Mr. T. That's kind of the thing. Other than that, I really couldn't tell you. I mean, and it's a shame because I'm sure he had a long and storied career too. But the NWA stuff, yeah, for sure, I definitely wouldn't know because that's a little before my time. I know Mike is definitely a big fan of the NWA and stuff back in the day, and all the Jerry the King Lawler stuff from Memphis and things like that. But and he showed me some over the years. But to be quite honest, I mean, I enjoy watching it, but a lot of that just it spaces my memory. But stuff I grew up watching the WWF from WrestleMania onward, that sticks with me the most because I watched it as a kid, so it just burns in your memory. But the NWA stuff, unfortunately, did not in my case. But yeah, so watch next week; it'll be all about that. But anyway, that'll do it for this week's edition of Mike's Wrestling Fun Facts and Trivia. The real question though is, what did you guys think? Did you guys know the answer to this question? Did you guys know that Paul Orndorff? No, don't lie, don't lie to us now. But you can act like it if you want to. But anyway, comment down below. Let us know what you guys think. Hit that like and subscribe button as well so you get all the notifications about when we put up new content here on this channel from movie news, trailer reactions. We're going to go into our NFL recap show today as well here on the channel. We're going to discuss week 1. We talk about all sorts of stuff. I got Funko videos. We try to do gaming streams, all that sort of good stuff. And of course, come back here next week for yet another edition of Mike's Wrestling Fun Facts and Trivia. And until our next video, guys, take care.
Bye.
We about to turn it on.